I looked at him and I thought, he gets to do this every day. That's his job. I think I want to do this.
Songbird, today I get to hang out with one of my fave people in the whole wide world and geek out about singing. She's an extremely talented triple threat, singing teacher and coach, choir and musical director. Please welcome music teacher, voice specialist and co-founder of Singdaptive, the wonderful Kathy Alexander. Kathy, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well, Kerri. Thank you so much for having me. It's always just absolutely wonderful to see you and hang out with you.
Oh, you know that the feeling is completely mutual, and I just love that we can invite songbirds around the globe to just sort of hang out with us and geek out about singing together, you know. But you know what? Before we sort of geek out about the singing and the performance stuff, we really want to get to know you, Kathy, and there's something I'm really curious about. Well, look, can you just take us back to you know, one of your earliest memories of you know, singing, and where you discovered that you love to sing, and you know, and that awakening it was for you?
Yeah, definitely. So I definitely one of my earliest memories of kind of being drawn to the craft of music and specifically singing was when my dad would sit down and sing and play his guitar. Often it was Beatles songs, and he would.
Oh wow!
And I think when I was around 5, 6, 7, that kind of age, he would say, "Oh, come over, Kath, and sing with me," you know. And so I'd be like, "Oh, I'm singing with my dad, like singing these songs," you know.
Yes.
So that's definitely a pretty early memory. And then there was another time where I remember I was sitting in the back of the car being driven probably home from school, quite young, and I was humming a melody to myself, and I noticed that it didn't sound quite right. And then I was like, no, that's not how it sounds. Like, I didn't know what a melody was or what notes even were. But I remember thinking, no, that's not right. And then I hummed it to myself again and again. And then I thought, now that's right. I've got it right. So that was like one of my earliest memories of like that awareness of pitch and interval relationships between intervals and what makes a melody sound like itself. Yeah.
Yes. Now, and was that sort of a triggering event that then sort of got you onto the singing learning path?
Well, you know, singing was definitely always a part of my childhood. My dad played guitar and sang, having grown up, you know, doing rock bands as a youngster himself.
Oh,
and music was always part of my school life. And I was a Girl Guide, and singing is a big part of being a Girl Guide. We sing around the campfire. Or a Girl Scout.
I didn't even think of that.
As it's sometimes called. You know, so singing was always very natural, and I always found it really fun. I always loved the singing parts of whatever was going on. I was always really drawn to sing and drawn to music. And I think, you know, that love I can't always place exactly where it began, because it was just always there. But I definitely... I definitely remember being in a choir, a big district, a school district choir, when I went into the choir in grade 5, because the choir had come to visit my school, and I was like, oh, I want to be part of that.
Oh, yes.
That's amazing. So then I went and I joined this, and it was a big choir from grades 5 to 12. So, you know, the age going up to like 17, 18, the eldest kids, and the youngest kids just like 10. And just being really moved by the music that we sang. Yeah, just feeling like crying with the songs that were sad, and just jumping around with joy with the songs that were happy.
Yeah, I mean, the power of music is just incredible, hey? And the fact that we actually get to do this as our job, our living every day, is just a miracle. What do you reckon, Kathy?
Oh my gosh, it's so fun that you asked me that question, because, you know, like, it is a miracle. It is a beautiful, wonderful thing, music. And singing. And so it's just actually so neat for you to ask that question and to get me thinking about that, because it really is, it's so nice to just always be in touch with that as well.
Yeah. So it sounds like for you, music really did come quite naturally. It's kind of runs in the family, obviously, with dad playing the guitar and, you know, being a cool, like, you know, part of cool rock bands and stuff. When did, I guess, you sort of decide that, you know, singing was going to be, and music was going to be something that you were going to take really seriously? And, you know, when did the educational side of it for yourself begin?
Oh, thanks for asking. Yeah, these are great questions. I think, It was when I was in high school. I was very lucky to attend a high school that had a massive arts program and several wonderful arts teachers in drama, choir, and band. And there was a teacher that just did so many wonderful projects with us, from Christmas caroling to putting on fully staged theater productions and to, dance squad. And I was in every single thing I could be in.
Of course you were.
And so that's really where I just knew that I wanted this to be my life.
Yes.
And one of these teachers, the main teacher that I was doing all this with, his name is Matthew, and he's still a dear friend to this day. And, I looked at him and I thought, he gets to do this every day. That's his job. I think I want to do this.
Oh, yeah. So it was quite a revelation for you that you can actually do this as a job at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Love it. And I'm so glad you made that decision, Kathy, because we're all the more better for it. And honestly, I have experienced this myself, because we were... we decided to do something pretty crazy earlier on in this year. I wonder if you remember. Just to set the context, you're all the way in Canada. I'm in Melbourne, Australia, and we decided that we would, basically do our first ever live stream concert together. So we've shared the global stage. Hey? Yeah?
We did.
Oh, yeah. We can officially say that. And so I had the privilege of having front row seats to watch you perform, Kathy, and my goodness, you are so talented. Your singing is obviously amazing and sublime, but your acting and the way you actually just brought out the story of each song and just made people laugh and cry, and all the things that you talked about that you were inspired by your choir director or teacher. Like, that's what I experienced, right, when we did that earlier this year. And so I'm really curious. I mean, you're clearly very, very, an incredible performer, and you've had so much experience performing around the world on TV and musical theatre productions and whatnot. Do you have like a favourite experience, performance experience, that just is a memory that will always be in the forefront of your mind, that, you tell your kids about, and, one day your grandkids about, is there a favorite memory, performance memory?
Oh my gosh, there's a few. So let me just pick one. That's a great question. And yes, it was amazing that we did our very first live stream together. And of course, it was amazing for me to also have a front row seat to your performance. We took turns taking the stage, and oh my gosh, girl, your commitment, just the way you throw yourself into those amazing musical moments. I was just like, oh my gosh, so inspired.
Oh, thanks, Kathy. You're so kind, but it's all about you today.
Okay, fine.
Don't try to turn the tables.
Okay, fine. Oh gosh. I mean, there's definitely been some really amazing performance moments for me. So one of them, okay, you know what? Here's an interesting one. This is a memorable one. And I do sometimes tell this story. Like you said, what's a story you'll tell your kids? And I think I would tell this to them, and I have told it to students. I was up in front of church.
Yes.
Singing a solo.
Yep.
And it just all went wrong. And
oh my gosh, we've all had those experiences. Can I just say, I love that you're sharing this as your most memorable performance memory, because a lot of the time people will watch, people like us, because we're teachers and we've been doing it for a long time, and they're just they never, their gigs just always go perfectly. So I love this. Please keep going.
Yes, I know. We think everyone's perfect, but in fact we're not. And so what happened for me in this moment was something new that I had never done before while I was experiencing a blunder or a mistake in a performance. So I usually up until that point, and still I struggle with this to this day. I feel a little nervous, a little tense when I'm performing. Am I going to be good enough? Please don't make mistakes. And I'm much better now about overcoming that. But usually I would just be horrified and just not know what to do. But in this case, I knew the song really well. I was very well prepared, and the two musicians who were backing me, were good friends and I was comfortable with them. And I guess I was just at a point where I was ready to take a step forward. So when this mistake happened, I just came in completely the wrong place. I started singing and it was not the time to sing.
Right.
I wasn't bothered by it. In fact, I actually said to the congregation, I said, well, that's not the right place to come in. And then I just turned and looked at the guys and I said, no, it's you guys. And then, a couple of measures went by and then I came right back in and it was a lively, fun praise song and we had a great time. And it was just a triumphant moment where I realized that it's not about perfection. It's about connection.
Yes.
And I got through it and I had fun. And right in the moment, I was just okay with it and I got through it. Yeah.
God, Kathy, that is just so inspiring. Like, honestly, I didn't expect that. I expected you were going to share, some incredibly, wildly successful moment. But I love that became a triumph for you because you weren't bothered by it. I was actually really inspired by the fact that you said, you didn't let it bother you, right? And I feel like that is such an important teaching point for every performer out there listening, right? We all have a bad gig. We will all mess up a song at some point in a performance, especially if we decide that we want to do this a lot, whether it's for your living or not. But if you do it regularly enough, there's going to be a bad gig, right? So, yeah. So I love the advice that's just really naturally come out of that experience, Kathy. That's so cool. Thank you so much for sharing that. Now, I also want to know, so before COVID and the craziness of COVID, you played a pretty important character in a pretty important musical, yes?
Yes, I did.
What was that?
I played the role of Donna in the musical Mamma Mia.
I can totally see you taking that lead role, Kathy. You'd be the best.
Oh, thanks. This was just a really wonderful community organization, a community theater group in my town here. Was decided to put on Mamma Mia. They brought in a really great director and musical director for this particular project because they really wanted to go all out and go big or go home kind of thing. And yes, I auditioned and got the role and it, it was a really big project for me. It had been a long time actually since I had played a lead in a musical and vocally speaking, the musical load for Donna is quite big. In Mamma Mia. There's a lot of music in that show.
Yes, there is.
So I took it on really knowing it was going to be quite a big challenge for myself in terms of just the vocal load. But yes, it was a wonderful experience just by happenstance and by the universe doing what it does. It turned out to be a really incredible group of people that were in the cast.
Wow.
And often it's the way in theater we make friends because we really depend on each other when we're on stage. Our lives are literally in each other's hands. Figuratively speaking anyway. Yeah. So often we make close friendships, but in this particular case, it was just even more than usual. It was such a lovely group. And for me, taking on a challenge that at the beginning, I truly hesitated before I said yes on the phone. When the director called and said, we want to offer you Donna, I did hesitate because I thought, wait a minute. Can I do this? Can I pull this off? But I did. I worked really hard. I practiced my butt off for that. Yeah. And I also had to practice not practicing too much so I didn't wear out my voice. So it was, I was pretty absorbed in that for a few months during the rehearsal run. And then the show was, sold out and such a joy, such a mountaintop. I have to say it'll be one of my lifelong memories as a performance. Yeah.
So good. And so, you mentioned that the vocal load for this character that you're playing is quite large. So any advice that you would give people if they also wanted to, I guess, either whether it's audition for a musical theatre show or whether it's whatever capacity that, Songbirds are performing right now, but it's actually, a lot of work, a lot of big songs, that kind of thing. How, what kind of advice would you give performers? And also, how do you do that as well as continue your normal life?
Yes, like normal life, day job, and kids and groceries. And stuff.
Yes, exactly.
Continuing with normal life definitely requires a supportive partner. So I have to say, my partner Kevin Alexander, when I have a big musical project going on, he is so generous in his ways that he supports me and just lets me fly.
Wow.
And takes care of a lot of things in the normal life field of things.
Yes.
So that's always been huge. And in terms of, vocal health and managing a big project, I do think it's really important that we don't let our insecurities drive us. So when we take on a big project and we know, this is going to be hard work, this is going to be a big deal. If we start to fear and if we start to let insecurities kind of consume us, that is going to interfere with our vocal health. In my experience, I have to really tell myself that I'm good enough and I'm going to do okay. Because if I let insecurities come, I will over practice. I'll overdo it.
Yes. Whoa, that just spoke right into my heart. 'Cause I reckon I'm very similar in terms of, I've gotten better at this as I have just, performed more. But yeah, it's definitely so easy to fall into that insecurity trap. And I love how you said, don't let your insecurities drive you. So what should you be driven by?
I think, what I focused on is that I'm going to do my absolute best that I possibly can. And the audience is going to sense that performer up there is doing her absolute best. And that's ultimately what matters. And it doesn't matter, did I sound like so-and-so doing this role? Was I better or worse or the same as so-and-so? That won't matter. Yeah. The audience will sense that I'm giving it everything I've got. And that's what matters. And then, practically speaking, I think we actually have to, those of us that are very hard workers and really tend to over prepare, we do actually have to limit our practice sessions. So it's better to actually have lots of short practice sessions so that you can check in with your voice in between your practices, and that you're not sitting down and then practicing for 6 hours straight one night, because that'll really tire you out.
Absolutely. Yeah. Love it, Kathy. Thank you for just sharing from such a deep place as well. I'm just believing that the songbirds watching are just going, "Amen, sister." Just Amen. Now, Kathy, I'm also very curious. I've read that you also have performed on TV. Can I ask you, what is the difference, I guess, between performing on a TV set as opposed to performing in a live setting?
Oh, that's really interesting. Yeah. So, I did have the opportunity to sing on a local TV show here in my part of the world called Let's Sing Again. And it was some years ago. And then some other little things have come up, over the years. The situations that I've been in, on TV have been quite similar to kind of a real situation. So, in some ways, it felt very similar to a real performance. I guess the difference being that there's cameras. There's cameras all around. And in the situations I was in, we were instructed to not look directly into the camera. The cameras were just capturing the moments. And we were really free to just act normal. But of course, you're aware of the cameras. And anytime, something's being recorded, of course, you do feel a little pressure of thinking about how am I looking, how am I coming across, and that's sort of out of your control. So I would say those are really the main things I remember from those experiences.
Yeah, sure. Did you get to do it again if the first take wasn't amazing or whatever, or was it just a live take, one take, and
we
go?
Yeah. So in the situations that I've been in, there was the ability to do a moment over again or redo something, but it wasn't exactly in my control because there were other performers in the situation. So it was really up to the producer to kind of say, let's take that again. And so it was nice to know that if something really terrible happened, we could do a retake. Yes. But it wasn't quite under my control though. So it still was sort of nerve-wracking. Yeah. Yeah,
of course. Very, very interesting. Now, Kathy, you're an amazing performer, but you've also taken the work of music and singing into coaching, you know, teaching, directing choirs, directing musicals, and all these sorts of things where you're empowering other people, I guess, to achieve their singing potential and musical potential, and to achieve their singing and musical dreams. I'd like to know, what about teaching and coaching just lights you up?
It's always been the connection.
Yeah.
You know, the connection is why I love to perform in front of people. I love the connection that it creates. And it's the same reason I love to teach. I love the connection to other people that I experience when I'm helping them grow, helping them move ahead, helping them develop their voice, develop their ability to express themselves, and also develop their ability to handle the challenges that come up. So, you know, I remember sitting backstage with a student of mine right before she was about to go on and play a lead role in a mini musical that I was a part of directing. I was a co-director of, and she was really having a big bout of performance anxiety, just like breathing, and her body was she was almost sort of having a panic attack. And just being able to stand back there with her and just take a moment to just connect with her and support her, to breathe together, and then to see her go out. And just, she nailed it. She absolutely nailed it. You know, just, and just to be on that journey with someone else is just amazing. Yeah.
Oh, I love that so much. I'm just sitting here listening to you describe that, and I'm just going, you know, you're not just a teacher who, like, it's not just your job. You actually do it with so much heart. And I'm sitting here going, I want Kathy to be my teacher.
Oh, yeah. Well, and, you know, Kerri, that's what we all those of us who know you, what we know of you as well, like so much heart, so much passion. And I think, you know, it's the best way to live life, to just to throw your heart into what you do.
Yes. But thank you. I mean, you certainly inspire me to no end in regards to throwing yourself into what you do and, you know, living fully alive and all that good stuff. So, Kathy, I want to know, you know, I mean, obviously you've had all those experience of coaching and you know, that connection with students. Was there something in that then inspired you to create this incredible singing platform that you are now a part of called Singdaptive?
Yes. Well, it's nice that you should ask, because I do love talking about Singdaptive. So I think, you know, through my own journey as a singer, I have struggled at times with my own vocal health, having suffered vocal injury and having to go through vocal rehabilitation, and just feeling that kind of demoralizing feeling that we get when our voice isn't right and we can't use our voice.
Yes.
And so I really did get interested in vocal health and the physiology of the voice. Because of my own journey, and also because I wasn't able to sing and perform for certain periods over the years. There were little times where I couldn't do much. And so that really did allow me to focus on the physiology and pedagogy and vocal technique. Of course, I have a university degree in music where I majored as a voice major. So I have all sorts of training, but life is really the training after we get our initial training. So then that's what led me to I was a staff writer for an online magazine for some years. It was part of an audio company that was dedicated to singers. And so I got to start interviewing people and really learning and connecting with all sorts of other voice experts, and just being blown away by the incredible expanse of knowledge and wisdom that's out there among people. You know, you talk to a voice doctor and you get this incredible set of knowledge and wisdom, and then you talk to a speech pathologist and it's a whole other area. Then you speak to a producer or an audio engineer, you get their perspective on the voice and how to make a great recording. And then you talk to other voice teachers. So I was getting to do this and really just realizing how much is out there. And then when that job came to an end, some of the people who had all been working together, we were all found ourselves going, what should our next project be? And then we said, well, we have all these contacts with these incredible voice educators and voice experts. What could we do? And that's how Singaptive was born. We thought, let's help this incredible expanse of knowledge and experience. Let's help this be shared in a way that singers can benefit from it so that they can reach their goals.
Amazing. And so you have all these contacts and, you know, they've all got like different areas of expertise and everything. How have you then used that to I guess, create this Singdaptive platform? Can you tell us a little bit more about what Singdaptive is? What a singer would experience if they actually do, try Singdaptive out?
Well, Singdaptive is an online learning platform dedicated exclusively to singers. And we're kind of... we're unique in a couple of ways. And the ways that we're unique are what make us able to serve the singers that happen to need just what we offer right at this moment. And we're just so excited to be able to do this. So what's unique about us is that we are, part of what we do is we have a massive and amazing content library of pre-recorded learning videos all about singing and all areas of the singing life. Now, what's unique about us is that it's a team that has created all of these videos. So there's actually 17 different instructors whose faces you will see in our content library. So it's not sort of one teacher's approach. It's this collaborative approach where you're getting all these different teachers and seeing their insights and their approaches all in the same library. Now we've curated it all and we've sought out the content very deliberately. So it's kind of got that Singdaptive curation to it. So our content library we're very proud of it. And we know that singers love being able to just watch on-demand learning videos. The other thing that Singdaptive does is that we actually give personal one-to-one coaching, vocal coaching through our online platform. But what's unique about us is that we do it asynchronously.
So that's a big word.
That is a big fancy word, and I'm so good at saying it, aren't I? So good at it.
I don't know if I could, but anyway, what did you just say again?
Asynchronously. We do our teaching asynchronously. So what we do at Singdaptive on our platform is we do one-to-one vocal coaching, but it's through a video and text exchange. So the student, my student, sends me a video. I've asked my student, hey, I'd like to hear you do this exercise. Here it is. And I might even give the student an audio guide to sing with. And then they film themselves at their leisure, whenever they're ready, whenever they have time, whenever they're feeling good and able, they film themselves doing the exercise. And then it comes to me through the platform, and then I watch it. And then I send them back a video saying, okay, that was so great. And here's what I noticed. And I give them guidance and feedback. So it's a lot like a live lesson, only it's not live. It's asynchronous.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, wow. That's really, really clever, I've got to say, because, the singer is being able to get that coaching that's customized and obviously tailored to their own voice, but it's at both of your conveniences. So that's pretty clever idea. Now, I have to say, Singdaptive means a lot to me as well, because I was lucky enough that you would actually reach out to me as to join the team of instructors. And I've, really enjoyed working with you guys, and the platform honestly is incredible. Like, the library is very, very comprehensive. And as you said, Kathy, the instructors that are involved all around the world, different areas of expertise, some big name people in this team as well, like people who have worked as singing coaches for the Voice in the UK. Is that right?
Yeah, we have the wonderful
Juliet Russell.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Disney coach as well. You've got, can you tell us a bit more about the team and what kind of courses people could expect to find, in Singdaptive?
Yeah, we've got an incredibly diverse, and we're just so excited about the skill and the experience that our team brings. But the most important thing that they bring is just such a generous spirit and the desire to just share their wisdom for the benefit of singers. And so you mentioned Juliet Russell. Yes, she's been a coach on The Voice, and she is just absolutely the most incredible vocal pedagogue, choir director, and she's a singer herself. She's just phenomenal.
She's incredible.
And so she's contributed videos to our library, and we use them all the time with our students.
Yes. I just want to clarify something, because when people think coach on the Voice, they're probably thinking, what do you mean, like the celebrities who sit in the chairs? No, on these shows, there's actually real vocal coaches that are behind the scenes.
Yes.
They don't make it on TV. They're not the celebrity coaches, but they are actually the ones who know something about vocal technique and are actually coaching the contestants. I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, so she's actually back there with the contestants, helping them to be at their best right in that moment.
Yes.
Yeah, before they go on stage. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and so and you mentioned you alluded to Jamie Babbitt. Yes, and because she had done some work with Disney, and is she's been a songwriter and a background vocalist and done all sorts of amazing high profile work as a session vocalist. And so we're just so thrilled to work with her. She's so much fun to work with too. So this diversity of the team is great because we all learn from each other as well.
Absolutely. Yep.
And so yeah, this content library has so much value. And when a student comes on to Singdaptive to do the one-on-one coaching, the asynchronous coaching, they always get matched up with a lead instructor who does all their personal videos. But that lead instructor will hand pick content from the other instructors on the team to support that singer where they're at with their goals.
Yes. It's a fantastic platform. And, I think I, for one, am very grateful that you and your team have decided to create this, because it's not easy. It's not easy to create a platform like this, but clearly you're very passionate about seeing our singers' full potential realized. And I think this, the content and the instructor team on Singdaptive really does contribute a lot to that. So thank you so much, Kathy, for making it happen, because it's seriously not easy. It's not easy at all. So thank you.
Oh, well, my goodness. We're having so much fun. We're all so into it. And Kerri, thanks for mentioning too, like you're on the platform, and the lessons that you have contributed and shared with us and filmed for us are being used and viewed and helping singers every day. Like we are thrilled to have you and all that you bring on the team. So thank you.
Oh, it's absolutely my pleasure. It seriously is. And I'm really glad to hear that the content that I have contributed is actually helping singers. That's awesome. Now, a little birdie has told me that you have a little bit of a gift for the Songbird Tree community.
Yes. So for the Songbird Tree songbirds out there, we would just love to offer you our free ebook. So Singdaptive does have a little small publishing library where we've actually published some actual books. We would just love to give any songbirds from the Songbird Tree a free ebook. And the book that I'm talking about is called The Ultimate Guide to Singing. And it's also a kind of multi-contributor project where there's many contributors that contributed pieces for the book. And it covers many areas of a singer's life, from technique to audio to how to get gigs. And it's just a fantastic book. So we would just love to give you a free ebook of The Ultimate Guide to Singing. If you pop on over to us anytime, and I have a special link just for songbirds from the Songbird Tree. And all you do is you just sign up for a free account to automatically get your ebook. And so we would be so thrilled if you pop over.
Oh, absolutely. And I just have to say to all songbirds, anything that Singdaptive puts out is going to be gold. And this is free, so please don't miss out on your opportunity to get it. The link is in the description box below. You just got to click on that link and follow the instructions, and then you'll have that wonderful ebook in your inbox ready for you to devour and to help you fulfill your full singing potential. Now, Kathy, speaking of full singing potential, do you have any words of encouragement that you'd like to offer songbirds around the globe who are watching? That songbird who is sitting there watching and thinking to themselves, I wish I could be XYZ singer, or, I wish I could fulfill this dream that I have to be a singer, or, to learn to sing. Do you have any words of encouragement for that songbird that you'd like to give?
Oh, I think that deep felt desire to be able to express yourself in song is something that we many of us want to be able to do. And some people may want to have some career aspirations and dream of being a big star, and that's awesome as well. But there's just so many people who say, I just want to be able to belt it out. Even just for one person, I don't even care who's listening. I just want to be able to sing. Yeah. So I just want to say that your desire is valid, and I really want you to own it and go for it, and tell others, tell the people in your support group, your support community, your family, your friends, let them know. Don't be shy about wanting to sing. It is so common, and I got to tell you, it's really fun. To be able to develop your voice. And singing is just like any other skill, any other physical skill. You can develop it. It's not just, well, you can't do it or you can. You can develop the skill. We all can. Anyone with a healthy human larynx can do all the things that human larynxes do. Everyone can belt, everyone can whisper, everyone can laugh, everyone can cry. We can all make all the sounds that are possible with this lovely instrument. And your desire to sing is so important, and I really want you to follow your heart and go after that.
Oh, amen. I've totally received that for myself, and I am just so happy, Kathy, that you joined me today. Hanging out with you is honestly, one of the highlights of what I get to do as well as a singing coach myself, and just have loved spending the time with you today, Kathy. Thank you for being so generous in sharing your experiences, your advice, and also the gift to the Songbirds with the free ebook. Thank you so much, Kathy.
You're so very welcome. Thanks for having me, Kerri. It's been really fun.
Absolutely. We better do this again sometime, hey?
Yes, let's do it again. Totally.
All right. Thanks, Kathy. Bye.
Okay, bye, Kerri.
Oh, man. Kathy Alexander is just pure gold, honestly. If you haven't fallen in love with her yet, you better check your pulse. No, but seriously, I want you to go and check out Singdaptive Songbird. I really encourage you to click on the link and get that free ebook. And, just check it out. As we mentioned before, a lot of my courses are actually on Singdaptive as well, including courses to teach you the foundations of singing, but also I've got a specific belting course as well, and so much more. So if you're interested to find out more about the content that I actually have on Singdaptive, and also to check out their big comprehensive library, please do go and check out singdaptive.com, and make sure that you follow them on Instagram as well. Now, Songbirds, if you're curious about the live stream concert that we were talking about earlier on in the interview, and you would love to watch both Kathy and myself perform, go and check out this video here. It's the full live stream concert that we did earlier in the year, and I hope that you enjoy it. And Songbirds, you know that I am always believing in you, so why don't you get out there, get grounded, take flight, and sing.